Hey guys, this is Reggie, aka the Reginator. Just got done watching the debates, the second night, and it was a lot better than the first night. I'll give them that. And the one who stood out as the true winner of tonight's debate was Kamala Harris. She obviously won. She really snuck in some good sucker punches, especially towards Joe Biden. I am not a Kamala Harris fan. I'm not a fan of any of those Democrats, to be honest. None of them. Except for Andrew Yang and Tulsi Gabbard. I really like Andrew Yang because he's thinking a lot about the future. And he's got the right mindset about it. Automation is going to take over a lot of the jobs that we have today. In the future, there won't be any Uber or truckers anymore because of self-driving cars. That's just one factor we have to worry about. There's also the factor of you won't need any more cashiers or retailers because everything will be automated. I know McDonald's is installing self-serving drive-through kind of like tablets, so you can order your food on your tablet and instead of having to speak to an actual person. So in the future, we really do have a problem. We are going to have a problem with automation that's going to take away a lot of jobs. And he's the only person that's really talking about it and trying to do something about it. And if you go to his website, he has a plan for like every single issue. It's well thought out. He's the gold among all the Democrats. And no one is giving him any attention. Like he's not getting the airtime he deserves on the debate. He got like no questions. They all spent asking questions for people like Kamala Harris and Joe Biden, and I mean Andrew Yang got the least questions out of everybody in that debate. And in my opinion, he's the best one out of all of them. Besides that, this whole thing was fun to watch. Seeing the Democrats go at each other's throat like that, that was very entertaining. Very good show. And it was a lot more interesting than the clown show that was yesterday with Beto O'Rourke and Cory Booker. I mean, that was so hilariously stupid, especially when they all spoke in Spanish. Oh my gosh. It was so funny because it was so bad. But man, did you see how all of them raised their hands for what we would call essentially open borders? All of them, all the candidates raised their hands to decriminalize illegal immigration and to give health care to all illegal immigrants that cross our borders. That's open borders. That means anybody could come into this country and just come in and receive full Medicaid and health care. That's crazy. That's delusional. All of them raised their hands. Now, I'm sure some of them did that to Pender. I don't think people like Andrew Yang really believed in it, or even Joe Biden. I don't think they really believed that it was a good idea, but they knew that if they didn't raise their hands, then they would lose votes because they're just being suckers for the people. That It's crazy. All of them raised their hands for essentially what we would call open borders. That's scary. We cannot let the Democrats win this. They're delusional. All of them. And again, I know I was talking really good about Andrew Yang. I think he's got the best head out of all of them, but that does not mean that he's perfect. Donald Trump is still the best one out of all of them, and he's definitely going to win. There's no question about it. The Democratic Party is not what it used to be. I remember 10 years ago when the Democratic Party and Republican Party were practically in, you couldn't tell a difference between them. You really couldn't. The differences were very minor. Now it's like black and white, night and day difference between the Democratic Party and the Republican Party, and it's crazy. I'm sorry, it's kind of like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, but it's crazy it's crazy how crazy the Democrats have become. Again, just crazy globalist policies that won't work. I mean, we literally have a socialist who's the one that's a Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren, kinda, who's on the top one of the top polls for being a candidate for president, and that's something a lot of people would have never thought they would have seen in their lifetime. And like an open socialist candidate running and being popular as a presidential possible candidate. This is crazy. Um, Times are different. Times are totally different than what they were before. And it's interesting. It's what's making politics so interesting, why people are even paying attention to politics. It's because of the craziness that we're seeing. But it's dangerous, extremely dangerous at the same time. These people cannot get into power. They cannot. And I'm pretty sure Trump is going to win re-election because of the craziness that we're seeing. We're not seeing any real moderate Democrats. But after President Trump, I don't know what's going to stop the Democrats from winning. After that, Donald Trump gets his second term and is done with it. I'm thinking the Democrats might get their turn to run the country, and that's a scary thought. The country's gonna look different uh, in that time. I'm pretty sure of that. Yeah. Besides that, the Democratic debate tonight was not as boring as the first night, and it was interesting seeing the clashing. A lot of crazy people up there, like Eric Swalwell. That guy's like a cringe fest. He really is. Like, he is weird. He's so lame, and I could tell he thinks he's cool, and he thinks he's right, but he's so lame. Just the way his lips move and the virtue signaling that he does. He's just so lame. Like, you just watch him speak and watch it in the debates, and you know what I'm talking about. And that lady, Marina, the spiritual lady, I don't even know her name. It's like Marina. She's an author. I remember that. She seemed pretty delusional herself. Like, she really did. She seemed like a crazy old lady. Even more crazier than Elizabeth Warren. Which Elizabeth Warren isn't crazy. She just comes across as shrill. But yeah, some of these candidates, like Cory Booker, crazy-eyed Cory Booker, Beto O'Rourke, who eats dirt and does weird pranks, and was a hacker who, like, looks like he came out of that show. I forgot what that show was called. I forgot what that show was called. It was a good show. It was a really good show. The one with Raimi. I forgot what it's called. Was it Robot? Something like that. But yeah, he's just, all these candidates are just, they're weird, man. A lot of them are just really weird. They're not like normal people. And I'm like, how did you guys even get to where you are now? To where you're on stage debating on seeing who's worthy enough to become president. Like, all these people seem like crazy people. And that makes me understand even better how Trump won. Because a lot of these other people that were running outside of him were pretty crazy. It's just not normal people. And I think the reason why we're not seeing normal people is because normal people really don't want power. Normal people, they know better than to want to be president or want to be king of the world. You know, a normal person just knows that that's really not as fun of a job as people would think it would be. And I think it takes a special kind of crazy and a special kind of conceit to run, as a politician. I really do. Um, and I think we need to encourage just people who are mentally stable, more mentally stable, who have more common sense, to run for places of office. And yeah, we got to encourage people to do that more. Just regular people, people that really have an eye for the people, people who really just understand and can resonate with the everyday person. Man, do we live in really interesting times. I can't wait to see, what the future holds. And the rest of this 2020 election race, I think there's going to be a lot of interesting moments. A lot of interesting moments to keep an eye out for. So, anyway, that's all I got to say. I'm tired. Have a blessed day. Subscribe to support, and I'll see you guys in the next one.